What makes a good life? This is a question that has been asked for thousands of years. Philosophers from ancient times to the modern day have tried to answer it. Their wisdom can guide us in our own search for happiness and meaning. Let us begin with Socrates, one of the greatest thinkers of ancient Greece. He believed that the key to a good life was self-knowledge. Know thyself, he said. For Socrates, a life without examination was not worth living. He taught that we must question our beliefs, our desires, and our actions. Only by understanding ourselves can we make wise choices. A good life, then, is one where we constantly seek truth and wisdom. Aristotle, another great Greek philosopher, had a different but equally powerful idea. He believed that happiness, what he called eudaimonia, was the highest goal of human life. But this happiness was not just about pleasure or wealth. True happiness, according to Aristotle, comes from living a life of virtue. He taught that we must develop good habits, courage, honesty, kindness, and practice them every day. A good life is one where we fulfill our potential as human beings, using reason and acting with moral excellence. In ancient Rome, the Stoics offered a different answer. Thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius believe that a good life depends not on what happens to us, but on how we respond. We cannot control external events, but we can control our own minds, Epictetus said. The Stoics taught that we must accept what we cannot change and focus on what we can, our thoughts, our actions, our attitudes. A good life is one of inner peace, built on self-discipline and resilience. Moving forward in time, the philosopher Immanuel Kant argued that a good life is a moral life. He believed in the power of duty, doing what is right because it is right, not because it brings us pleasure or reward. Kant's famous idea, the I-categorical imperative, tells us to act only in ways that we would want everyone else to act. A good life, then, is one where we treat others with respect and fairness, guided by universal principles of justice. In the 19th century, John Stuart Mill, a philosopher of utilitarianism, believed that a good life is one that creates the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. Unlike Aristotle, Mill thought happiness was indeed about pleasure, but not just any pleasure. He spoke of higher pleasures, like learning, art, and deep friendships which bring lasting joy. A good life, in this view, is not just about personal happiness, but about contributing to the well-being of others. The existentialist philosophers of the 20th century, like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus, had a more challenging view. They believed life has no built-in meaning. It is up to us to create our own. Sartre said, "Man is condemned to be free." This means we must take responsibility for our choices. A good life in this view is one where we embrace our freedom, face life's uncertainties with courage, and define our own purpose. Eastern philosophy also offers deep wisdom. Confucius taught that a good life is built on relationships, respect for family, loyalty to friends, and harmony in society. The Buddha believed that suffering comes from desire, and a good life comes from letting go of attachments and finding inner peace. These traditions remind us that wisdom comes in many forms. So what do all these thinkers teach us? A good life is not one single thing. It is a combination of self-knowledge, virtue, resilience, morality, compassion, and personal meaning. It is about balance, between our own needs and the needs of others, between control and acceptance, between seeking pleasure and seeking purpose. Perhaps the most important lesson is that a good life is not something we find. It is something we build, day by day, through our choices. The philosophers do not give us one answer, but many paths. It is up to us to walk them, to learn, and to grow. In the end, the question, what makes a good life, may not have a single answer, but the wisdom of the ages can light our way. If we seek truth, act with kindness, face challenges with courage, and find meaning in our journey, then perhaps we can say, yes, this is a good life.